Dear journalists and some guests, we are going to start our next briefing. We are going to talk about the touring support of the new novel by AndriyLyubka, Carbide. AndriyLyubka, writer, essayist, translator, Sviatoslav Pomerantsev, president of the International Research Corporation MERIDIAN CZERNOWITZ, and Yulia Pelepchuk, curator of the Merezha network project. You have the floor, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Thank you for coming to this short or small press conference. I would like to thank Andriy and Yulia. My name is Sviatoslav Pomerantsev. I'm president of the International Literary Corporation. I'd like to say a few words, generally speaking, about this specific project. Exactly 6 months ago, I was on this stage, Sergei Zhadan and Yulia, and we were talking about or telling those president ambitious project for 33 cities. I personally accompanied me and Sergei. We visited 27 towns and cities. Only on the road we spent 200 hours, and we had something to talk about. In each city we visited, following our presentation, we heard one question: who and when the next writer will come to our city with some literary, let's say, discussion stories. And actually answering this question, we came up with a proposal together with the Renovation Foundation or Rebursing the Foundation, and we actually founded a kind of a project for the literary workers and called it the Merezha network. And I'm happy that this mechanism was already launched or has been launched, and Andriy is going to test this machinery, this mechanism. I would like to thank all our partners in 30 cities of Ukraine. I would like to thank all our donors and sponsors, donors and sponsors who support at the local level this wonderful idea. And would like to thank also the Vedrozhenia Rebirth Foundation for their support. Yulia and Andriy, my thanks go to you as well. Good morning, my name is Yulia Pelepchuk. I'm the curator of the network project. Today, on November the 3rd, the first tour of Andriy Lyubka is going to start with the new novel Carbide. And actually it's a new project of the MERIDIAN CZERNOWITZ Literary Corporation. Actually, the prehistory was already told you by Mr. Pomerantsev in the spring of 2015. The Literary Corporation, the MERIDIAN CZERNOWITZ with Sergei Zhadan actually took care of the tour over 30 cities, including 100 different events in 33 cities of Ukraine. And everywhere we heard the question who and when are going to come again next time. Of course, in response to this demand or requirement of our community or society, we took care of founding this project Merezha, and it's going to unite the managers of culture and other people from different regions of Ukraine in order to create the literary discussion platforms. The list of the partners or project today covers or embraces about 20 regional centers, also 4 frontline cities including this project. And we strive to organize about 6 tours of writers with whom we cooperate, including Andriy Lyubka, Dmitro Lazutkin, Katerina Babki, Sergei Zhadan, Yuri Andrukhovich, Yurko Izdrik, and Taras Prochaska. And today, as I mentioned, we launched the first tour of Andriy Lyubka, which is going to be divided into stages. During November, Andriy is going to visit 19 cities in the central, southern, and eastern Ukraine. Also in December, he will visit 6 cities in western Ukraine, and we are going to have 2 different events in each case, the press conference for the mass media and literary discussion function, and Andriy will tell you more about that. Good morning, my name is Andriy Lyubka. I'm the author of several books, but the latest book is Carbide. It's a novel about the title hero Carbide, named in a Precarpathian, who lives in Carpathian region. He decided to construct the tunnel under the underground tunnel leading to some neighboring countries in the European Union. Actually, I was inspired. The idea of this writing this book was inspired by the fact when the Slovak government or the governmental offices revealed the underground tunnel under the border state frontier, which served as the special pass for the let's say for smuggling different goods. And actually, it was a shock to everybody when they found the tunnel with length which was equal to the seven lengths of seven soccer pitches, and this was kind of the metro tunnel. And the idea struck my mind, and I decided to write such a book. But the action is this is staged after the Maidan, and one of the ideas of the main year is the noble objective to open the road for the Ukrainians to the European Union, to provide them with the visa-free and let's say the cost-free way to the European Union. So in order to do that, he had to find some friends, and of course you are talking about Transcarpathia, which four would be those who are involved in smuggling operations, and of course they are trying to do integration of Pakistani people, etc., etc. So the novel came off the print in August this year. In the first presentation we had in Prague, the capital city of the Czech Republic, and actually we present the copies of the smuggled copies of the novel. Actually, the story ends on August 24th, 2014, when in this city of Medvedev, the group of the smugglers opened the fountain of union with Europe. Actually, under this fountain, there is one of the entries or exits of this tunnel. Now I'm planning to take this novel on my tour, which starts today in Kiev, and the presentation will stage at 7 p.m. in the House of Education, and the master class. Lyubka will be the moderator, so you're kindly invited to visit that. And this presentation will be for a month of tour of different cities in the east of Ukraine, and including 4 or 5 frontline cities. And in December we'll have the closing stage or lap of this tour, when the presentation will be held closer to my residential place in the western parts of Ukraine. It's symbolic that this network project, Merezha project, the first two tours to some extent actually illustrate the idea, the presentation discussions, the idea of the internal or the Ukrainian dialogue. And the first author to take care of the similar tour was Sergei Zhadan, who was born in the eastern parts of Ukraine, and the second one will be a citizen, resident of the western parts of Ukraine. This is going to symbolize the union between the two parts. And actually, what would be interesting to me, I'm going to visit those cities like Severodonetsk or Mariupol, which I have never visited before. And I perceived that early as just a special dot on the map, a geographical map. So I really would wish to make use of this specific chance, and this is going to be reflected in my creative work. Maybe one day I will write a novel about a person who is going to take care of smuggling, not to the European Union, maybe to Mariupol. I believe that the dialogue between the smugglers and everybody else could be of interest to everybody. Again, I would like to talk about the Merezha, the network of cultural initiatives. I believe this is very important because together with the writers, we always claim that in Ukraine there is no cultural infrastructure. And conventional speaking, in some kind of one of the European countries like Germany, in which small town, they have cultural centers, libraries, which provide the possibility to organize or hold some cultural events and function. In Ukraine, actually has nothing like that, or at least there was nothing before we started this network project. And actually, it must be some kind of volunteer attempt to build this kind of cultural infrastructure in all on the cities. So Ukraine started from the bottom. Actually, generally speaking, this is especially Ukraine's phenomenon. When I told about this project to my foreign acquaintances and friends, they didn't believe that one can unite people because everybody, how can we organize or hold some kind of cultural event in each city, and actually people have to pay for that and still come. This is Ukrainian phenomenon which actually demonstrates kind of interest or lack of the cultural life which can be experienced or in these parts of Ukraine. This is like the special map of the blood vessels. Maybe this will be someday will be cemented, so to say. Maybe we are going to have some kind of the public-run structure, governmental structure. Now it is just taken care of by the volunteers, International Literature Corporation, Merezha MERIDIAN CZERNOWITZ, and the rest. And thank you very much. Thank you, Yulia. Thank you, Sviatoslav and Andriy. Are there any questions or clarifications? While our journalists are thinking about that, I will start. You mentioned that the first presentation of the book took place in Prague. Did they read in Ukrainian? I mean, this book, or this book was translated into Czech language or some other languages. Actually, I was reading it out loud in Ukrainian, and it just came out of print. Even it did not strike the shelves of the bookstore yet, but actually there was no translation of that book. Actually, the only translation which I know of, they translate this book in Polish, in the Polish language, and maybe it will be published or come out of print in February next year. We have a question here. Yulia, can you tell us what writers and when, what months do you plan to organize in the next tour in different cities within the framework of this project? Thank you for your question. During December, we plan to organize a tour of Dmitry Lazutkin, in which will consist of several stages, or 2 stages. It will start in December, and it will be continued in the spring next year. Also, we have an agreement with Yurko Izdrik. We plan it in February, in the springtime next year, 2 more tours with Sergei Zhadan and Andriy Lyubka. As for our next plan, just watch or let's say try to follow our developments. Maybe the last question to Andriy. How much time it took to write the new novel? And the second question, are not you afraid of the literary critics or bitter criticism on their part? Because the art critics can see whatever is not contained in the book. I wrote this novel for 2 years, in 2014 and the first part of 2015. But this idea was in my mind actually for several years. I wanted to write a kind of the adventurous or detective story, kind of the Balkan related, Balkan character novel, like movies of Kusturica. He actually takes some kind of the mad or crazy ideas and they actually be applied to this Ukrainian soil. But I'm not afraid of the critics. Actually, I was involved in some of the judo or the wrestling, so judo. Actually, especially if you're talking about this kind of shooting which took place in Mukachevo in the Transcarpathian region, and the first the first response to this novel, they said that it was kind of smuggling the Bible, because we are talking about the actual smuggling business, and describing how, who, in what way they make money in the Transcarpathian borders. This part can be regarded as a documentary, let's say, research or study, and based on this material, actually could be used for launching different criminal cases, because actually it contains factual materials. But I really didn't want to concentrate just on smuggling, but this is the main business for the men here. But this novel is not about that. This novel is all about the kind of idealist who has a very bright idea in his mind, and as always, this good, nice idea is used by some kind of villains and criminals, whatever. Actually, the very idea of this novel is the universal idea. We have another question here, Elena Shupkina, UCMC, Yulia Andriy. Will this project contribute to the, let's say, to making peace between the regions? There, for a long time, there hasn't been any kind of the cultural dialogue between the western eastern parts of Ukraine, and this was one of the reasons why we have this conflict there. And will it serve the reconciliation between the two? Thank you for your question. Definitely, the novel will contribute to this specific objective. This is the main objective of this project. We try to unite cultural organizations from all parts of Ukraine, in western, eastern, northern, and southern parts of Ukraine. Also, we have partners in 3 frontline cities, and each of the authors will have the chance to visit all those places and cities. If there are no more questions or clarifications, we are going to finish this briefing at 1900 today. I send a chance to attend to the first presentation of this book, and the address Lavska 17. Thank you, and good luck to you.
Окей, фотографуйтесь. Так? Пішли?
Любка, Юля.
З двох
Ти з
боків.
нами. Так, давай, може, попросимо.